everyone, and thank you guys so much for joining us on a Sunday afternoon, earlier than usual.
It's morning for us. It's a very good evening to you,
yes,
Julianne.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Somebody's here from Poland. Hello.
Oh,
wow. Welcome.
You guys, we are so excited to be joined by Julianne from Naturally Cats, and she is over in the UK, so it is 7 p.m. to you?
Yes, 7 p.m.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And we have to say, thank you so much, first of all, for joining us. Julianne is going to be teaching us all about herbs and herb gardens for our cats.
Herbs.
And this is herbs.
Herbs,
as she says, because she's over in the UK. And she's like the go-to of all knowledge when it comes to herbs and cats. And we just so happen to find each other on Instagram, and we're super glad that we did, because now we're all here to be schooled by Julianne, and so she can teach us some stuff. But I have to say thank you so much, because Julianne is on day 6 of COVID. So she's not feeling very well. But she still showed up. She said, I want to do this. I didn't want to miss this opportunity. I want to get my head off of the illness and onto herbs and cats, because it's her favorite subject. So if she's coughing a little bit, she's not a smoker. She's not a drinker. she is down with the illness. But she is still chose to join us here, a super trooper.
Thank you so much for taking time to do this. For anybody that has not already visited your page, doesn't know really what we're about to talk about, could you do a little intro? Let us know a little bit about you and what has inspired your journey with herbs, and how you bring that knowledge to our feline friends.
Sure. So thank you both, Jay and Adrienne, for having me. It is such an honor to be here and to talk with your community about one of the topics that I am hugely passionate about. So herbs for me became part of my life when I was dealing with my poorly cat Pickle. She's my previous cat, and she was very ill. So she led me to train in different complementary and alternative treatments, one of which being botanical remedies, so essential oils, herbs, and hydrosols. And what I learned that basically is a really safe way to help cats. And it's something that when I left my corporate job last year, I decided to, it's a really random thought. You know, you have those thoughts in the shower and you think, I'll give it a go. I thought, why don't I put together a shop? Whenever I buy herbs, because I'm a remedies practitioner, I buy things in 100, 250 grams per herb. And I thought, sometimes you want just a little bit, you want a little bit to try, like of a new herb. I don't want to buy 100 grams. And I thought, what if that's the same for other people? What if they want to try herbs with their cats and they don't know where to start? They don't know how much to buy. So I, excuse me, I went online and I started a Shopify store, and the rest is history. Basically, I created 10 different gardens because I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people with their cats. So Pickle, yes, I've got one too.
I love him. I love him. Okay. So with Pickles was dealing with what specifically?
So yeah, Pickle was, oh, bless her. I have to show you her now.
Oh, precious baby girl.
Oh, my girl. She, well, where do we start? She had arthritis, gingivitis. She was diabetic for over 10 years. Pancreatitis, dandruff. We had all sorts. I didn't realize at the time when we got her from the rescue, she was on dry food. We would free feed dry. And then when we went down the road of figuring out her diabetes diagnosis, which took 2.5 years to get, she was vomiting all the time, and it was tragic. And then we couldn't get a diabetes stable. So I ended up training and looking into, raw food. I did a diploma in cat care, welfare and behavior, because we also got a second cat at the time. Did everything completely wrong, as you do. And also trained in the essential oils and animal communication, animal healing, all the kind of woo-woo stuff that I do now, and I absolutely love it. But we weren't making progress with their veterinary care, which was the sad thing. So that's why I trained to try to complement it. You know, I love my vet. I work very closely with my vet. But sometimes it's not the only answer. You know, you need that holistic, hello, gorgeous.
Friday just wants to say hi.
Friday making her appearance.
Bless her. Yeah, you need that holistic approach. So that's what I tried to do.
I think that's awesome. And honestly, it is like part of all, like so many of us, right? Like we don't look into holistic healing. You just like you normally trust your doctor, you trust your vet. You don't really even think about a need of proactive care for your cats. You know, it's just not something that is forefront in your mind until something happens. And then it's like, we have to find something that can actually help. Because they're our family members. They're not just, just cats. They are, part of our family, and it's our responsibility to care for them. So I'm so glad that you took this journey and started on the road to helping others too, because you also do a lot of education, and that is just brilliant. Yeah. And I think it's super helpful for us cat parents out there in the cat community to learn how, even us, like when we talked to you on Zoom, it was like, you know what? I mean, we know that herbs are awesome. We know that they're powerful, but we don't know much about them. In all honesty, what to use for what, we don't, we know milk thistle, right? Dandelion root. Like we know certain things are great used internally to flush liver, kidneys, things like that, for detoxes and but that's about it. That's about all. That's about
quite a lot.
Yeah, that's about all that we know. But you were so gracious to send us 2 of your herb gardens, and I have questions, and I'm so excited. We followed the instructions. We have not opened this one yet, but this is the one I have questions on. Okay. We opened the general herb garden, and we followed the instructions. You have very well laid out instructions. I love that. It's not like it's 4 simple steps, and it's be calm and let your cat decide what your cat wants. And it was very interesting. We filmed it. We put it on the story. We took tons of pictures. It was very interesting to see like which cat's going to go to which, but we didn't necessarily know the why. And so that's other questions, but that's where your book comes in, because you published a book. And it is amazing because it's like a guide. It's not like, I was just telling Julianne before this, what I like about it is that, when you get a good book, right? If you have time, you want to just sit down and read. And I think that's great. And we love to read, but we don't have a whole lot of time these days. So it's like, how are we going to get through this book before our interview? And it's like, oh, it's like a total guide. This is a total guide where I can just, looking at, like I was reading earlier, the inappropriate toileting, as you say, or inappropriate eliminations, as we say, but I like toileting better. But you have all the steps there. You have what to use. I love this. And then you have the history.
Back it up a minute.
She's like, stop.
She's on a roll. I love it.
We are rolling up in here. I start with a dumb question, and I thought to look this up before our interview. And then I thought, you know what? I bet I'm not the only one that doesn't know what this is. Maybe I am. So a lot of us know what essential oils are. Herbs are very exciting. Most of us only know about catnip, right? We think, oh, well, cats like catnip. And we don't really recognize the whole world of herbs that are there, which I'm excited to talk about. What are hydrosols?
Oh, yeah.
So, excuse me. They're in between, in terms of strength, they're in between herbs and essential oils. So when essential oils are distilled, when they're created effectively, hydrosols can be the byproduct of it. So sometimes they're called a floral water. So basically you've got some droplets of essential oil mixed in with the water. So they're not as concentrated. That's not the scientific way. That's as much as my brain can manage today, but that's kind of the gist of it. So if you look for strength of remedy, you've got herbs, hydrosols, and essential oils. So obviously essential oils are very, very concentrated, very strong, very effective. And yet you've got herbs, which again, very effective, but very simple, very subtle. And then you've got hydrosols in between.
Thank you.
I love that.
Well, and I think give us a little bit of an overview of how you I know that you've done a lot of studying in with herbs. If you would kind of give us a little summary of that, and then how you've seen that applied to our cat's health and wellness,
and how they work, like what so we were actually, when you said an herb garden, we actually thought that it was going to be more like something that we planted, like and
Mm-hmm.
like I get this, and it's like, oh, so I mean, it smells organic, and they are, they're little. Let me get it in front of the camera. They're and here's the catnip, which is awesome. But they're little bags and explains how you said if they want to try something, if they don't want to buy, a ton of it, see which ones the cats like. I love this. This was so
fascinating to watch
and
our
brilliant.
Cats, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm ready for my.
Yeah, ready for my garden, Mum.
I'll select something here, please.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, when I did a 2.5-year diploma, and I studied with a woman called Caroline Ingram, who is, she is a pioneer for something called self-selection, which basically means, that all animals can choose what they need to heal, and cats are no different. Like you said with catnip, right? We all know about the effect that catnip can have. Either cats aren't affected by it, because not all cats are, because it's genetic. They can either eat it or they can sniff it, and it depends whether they sniff it or ingest it as to whether they put them down. Mum, give me some herbs.
Yeah, I opened it up, smelled it from across the way, and now they're all right here.
That's great.
I know, the testimony.
Excuse me. So, what was the question? Oh my God.
Oh,
no, you're great.
Bless you.
You were.
So you were talking about studying with Carol.
Oh, yes, Caroline Ingram. Yes,
Caroline
yes. And I realised that when I saw herbs down, when you do a session with a cat with remedies, so for example essential oils, etc., Caroline suggests putting down a herb garden first, because that's an introduction to the treatment, and also it basically opens the cat up to healing, and it can give you indications as to which herbs they choose, what problems they've got going on with them, which comes to what you were saying, Jay, about which herbs are for what,
Right.
So if you think about, you can valerian,
which is what they're going crazy for right now.
Yeah, it smells like sweaty feet. I absolutely hate it. Not that I could smell it right now, to be fair. But you can have valerian essential oil, or you can have valerian, the dried root. You can also get a valerian powder. So remedies come in different formats, but with herbs, they're such a gentle way to let the cats interact with remedies. So if you think about cats that are in the wild, like, but I can't even think of a large cat that would be around like a rose bush. But if you think about cats that go outside, if they might walk past a rose bush, and obviously that's got natural scent molecules. What's happening when we're bringing our cats indoors is that we are limiting their opportunity to access these plants, to access the things they need to heal. For example, like cat grass, we all know that it's a good idea if you've got indoor cats and outdoor cats, to be honest, to grow cat grass indoors. But what I wonder if people do know is that with cat grass, you generally see the cat eat the tip, because that's where the nutrients are. That's where it's concentrated with the plant properties. So with herbs, the fact that they're dried means that they're gentler. The energy of them is gentler. That's not the right word. Softer, should we say? So it basically, cats are really energetic beings. They're really they're sentient. They're very sensitive. Even the crazy ones, even the self-confident ones, that they are really sensitive. And with the dried herbs, it means that you can give the cat the opportunity to heal in a really natural and a really, really gentle way. So each herb has more than one property. It does different things. So for example, valerian, it actually helps with, it's a great pain relief, but also it's got like I can't say the word, like calming properties.
Yes.
So it helps to, you know, if cats are stressed and anxious, it can help with that. So it really depends on what the cat is choosing, which will give you an idea as to what's going on. The reason I created the gardens was because I wanted people to have extra support. I want people to have a herb garden in every home. I want it to be treated like a litter tray, you know, as an essential resource, because if you put a herb garden down, not only are you letting the cat deal with any physical issues, but also any emotional and mental, which is what I think is really, really important.
Yeah, I love that. In fact, I haven't. I mean, the wheat or the cat grass, I get that. We hear that all the time, and I didn't know that they just eat the tips. I mean, I guess I didn't know. I didn't know why they just eat the tips, but now that makes 100% sense. So thank you. But when it comes to the other, you know, the other scents and the other herbs, I didn't think about how important it is. You know, we talk so much about how we have to kind of bring our cats outside environment inside to keep them safe and living, you know, a long life. But they're missing a lot of that, a lot of those opportunities. And I haven't thought about it until just now that herbs are one thing that they would be missing if they were outside, being able to pick and choose what helps them feel better, what helps them heal. And stress is such a huge thing, especially for indoor cats, you know, because they aren't able to be out in the wild, and because of so many things that stress out our cats. And oftentimes we don't know that our cats are stressed because they're, you know, just laying around sleeping all the time, and that's a sign of a stressed cat, you know. So so it's very interesting. My question, so you sent us the general herb garden, which I think is amazing and very exciting. And yes, valerian smells like dirty feet or sweaty butt.
Interestingly, though, all of our cats that can you talk a little bit about that self-selection thing, though, too?
Yes.
Because I think that was an interesting thing to watch with our cats. We used a large, like basic part of the ripple rug.
It's a rug.
A large
rug
for them. And then we placed some of the herbs all over in different places. And it was fascinating to watch all the cats at some point or another come up and really engage with one or another of the herbs. And but that the stinky feet one, man, everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's gross.
The self-selection part, because we thought, you know, this was a garden that you plant. Tell everybody a little bit about how these gardens work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what self-selection is, watching them do that.
Yeah. So the gardens work, like you said, we've got 10 gardens and 2 selection boxes. So you can get a selection box, because I've got 20 herbs in my shop. You can get a selection box for 10 herbs, or you can get the superb selection box, which has got all 20. So basically, as you showed, Jay, you know, you're a great assistant, showing the package that you get with the little bags of herbs in. And basically, in each bag, there is enough for 2. So that should be split in half. Now, everyone's generally quite cautious, and I understand that. So everybody puts a tiny little pinch down. But what you need to do is put half the bag down, you know, put a good amount down. And you use generally one per cat. So you get a towel or a blanket and you put a good pinch, you know, in, say, the 4 corners, depending on how much you want to put down at one time. So that's how you use it, and you let the cat do what they want to do with it, basically. Yeah. So self-selection, excuse me, is basically where cats will choose what they need to heal. We've just got to give them the opportunity to do that. So they know what they need, just like we know. So, you know if you've got a headache, if you like to take tablets, or if you like to sniff an essential oil, or whatever treatment you like to do for yourself to make yourself better, they do exactly the same thing. So it is really that simple. So if you put the herbs down, let the cat do what they want to with it. Now, the thing is, some people think that you will see your cat rub and roll around and go absolutely crazy. And some cats might do that, which is beautiful to see. I've put some videos on my YouTube channel of that, and it's lovely because there's one of my clients who, she's a gorgeous cat in Costa Rica called Juvia, and she does go crazy with it. She's upside down with it, and it goes absolutely everywhere. But not all cats are like that. So it really depends on their personality and their temperament. So Leo, my rescue cat at the minute, he's very, very shy. He's very timid, and he was previously feral, so he doesn't trust humans very much. And as soon as the doorbell rings, he runs away. So he will only use his herb garden overnight when no one else is around. And it's very, very rarely disheveled. It's very rarely like muddled up, unless he's having a crazy 5 minutes with the zoomies around the house. And that kind of gets it, you know, on the round robin of the dining room. But generally speaking, you won't see him go upside down with it and go crazy with it, because when cats are dealing with the herbs, they're healing, and it takes cats a while to lean into healing. And that might sound really bizarre, but it's true. And in my 15 plus years experience, it takes them a while to open up to healing. It takes them a while to be vulnerable, because if you think about yourself, when you're not feeling very well, whether you're talking mental health, emotional health, or physical health, we hide it, they hide it. And it's not until you're ready to give into it that you realize that you've got to do something about it, and you let yourself do something to heal. But in order to heal, for example, like from a massage, you need to rest and to lean into it, don't you? And it's the same for cats. So usually you'll see cats, they'll be interested first of all in the packets, and then you might not see anything else, or you might see that they can't wait for you to get it out of the bag, like you were saying. And you know, I've seen cats that have torn, you know, that have ripped the bags open because they've not had enough down. So cats can also eat and ingest the herbs. They will only ever ingest what they need. So you know, which is something that I think I've put on the back of the box. Yeah, don't panic if your cat ingests the remedies. They're taking in exactly what they need. And that is all about self-selection. So whether your cat, you know, licks or sniffs at the valerian or actually ingests it, they're taking what they need to heal. So I had a cat that was shot with an air rifle, and I was helping her to heal. We gave her some herbs. The first set of herbs I gave were ones that were for pain. So comfrey, valerian, St. John's wort. And she absolutely ate a lot. So her guardian put down a teaspoon of each of these herbs, and within minutes it was gone, because she needed that into it. You know, she needed that internally to have the properties to help heal her body. So trust that your cat knows what it's doing, and be patient, you know.
And that's interesting because we had both in our situation. So our oldest cat, Oliver Twist, who's 17, 18 years old, he actually was licking and so was Jack, our youngest. But the others were more like rubbing on it or just laying beside it even, and just like sniffing it and smelling it. And then it seems like all of the ones, it seemed like all of the ones that we put, they would other than valerian, then they rolled around more in that one, or Jack especially. But they would go near them, they would sniff them. It was like we watched them pick which one they wanted, and then they would lay down next to it.
Yeah,
and do like love eyes.
Yeah, and that's them healing. That because you know it takes a while. So you know that's why you leave the garden down for like a week, because sometimes they'll go to and from it. Sometimes they won't go to it for say 2 or 3 days, and then they'll use it. You know, so yeah, that's absolutely right. And one of the best pieces of advice I can give you all is, you know, when you put a herb garden down, you know, be really present with your cat. You know, they are being vulnerable and open to the healing, whether they are using it for physical, mental, or emotional needs. But watch them, you know, be present with them, enjoy the moment with them, and enjoy seeing them have this experience, because it's really beautiful when you see, just like you said, how gorgeous is it to see your cat sat content and happy and giving eye kisses, you know, for something that is really simple, that's just a piece of dried herb. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, enjoy it.
I have to say, ever since we had the pleasure of meeting you a couple of weeks ago, this to me is part of that whole, you mentioned it a little bit, talking about pickle. going through everything that you went through. Obviously, we all need conventional medicine. We see the importance of diet. We understand that certain supplements can be helpful. And this is something so new to us, to understand the power that herbs can have.
Yeah, we
didn't
leave it down long enough.
No, we didn't. Like, there's already things that we're going to be trying differently now.
Yeah.
Just because it's part of that holistic way of looking at our cats' well-being, their health, their happiness. So it's very fascinating.
And this actually leads me into a question for you. So you also sent one that's called Depression Uplifting Herb Garden. I haven't opened this one yet. We started with this one, but I wanted to talk to you about it because Adrian and I are going to be taking a vacation for the first time in 2 years in a couple weeks. And that means some of our cats have never been without us for a night. We do have a pet sitter that comes and she stays at the house, and she's fabulous. And we've got Lindsay coming to the house. So they're going to be well taken care of, but that doesn't stop the removal of us. They're
doesn't stop me from worrying, and doesn't. I'm sure it's still gonna be a little.
So what I was wondering is, would this be a good? And then I want to follow up with for the audience, like if there's general things for general whatever, like something that might be helpful, or what kit might be helpful for specific things, right? But this one, do you think this would be what we would want to open and lay out and have for the entire week that we're gone, like have it out in the house? Is this this is the one?
And what I would say is, because you've got more than one cat, put more than one herb garden down. So the general rule is like litter trays, it's one per cat. Now, obviously, I know you guys have got 6, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe not 6 herb gardens, but at least 3, I would say, in different places of the home. So definitely one in your bedroom, because that's where obviously your scent will be concentrated. That's probably where they will at some point gravitate. So put one down in there. One in the front room. And the general rule with herb gardeners is not to put it near a litter tray, not near their food, and generally in a quiet spot of the house. So ours is in the corner of the dining room so that Leo can take himself away. It's not a toy, it's not something to put in the middle of the front room where there's a lot of foot traffic. If cats are going to heal, they want to do it, not with privacy exactly, but they need a little bit of
space.
Yeah. So I would say that would be a great one. You've got enough in there, like I said, for 2, you can stretch that to 3 gardens, and leave it down for the week. So the reason I said about leaving it down for so long is because we don't know what happens day to day for our cats. We think they're fine, and most of the time I'm sure that they are. But for example, when the doorbell rings, I know that it stresses Leo out. So we've got a herb garden done all the time, because how do I know when he's feeling maxed out with his mental capacity? How do I know when he's feeling quite stressed emotionally? So that's the joy of having it down all the time, is that, they can go to it as and when they want to. The herbs are fine for about a week, as long as you've not got high humidity and they don't start to kind of go rotten or anything. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you. I am so impressed with with your stamina to continue to still come join us.
I know.
God bless you in the midst of day 6 of this horrible thing.
Yeah. So there's a question here that says, what herbs would help 2 siblings who are fighting and can't be together anymore? And are there any you would recommend for my Aspen who has cancer, small cell lymphoma?
Oh, can I just say, first of all, I'm so sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. Dealing with cancer is really heartbreaking. So sending lots of love. When it comes to things like cancer, what I would say is the 2 options really would be pain herbs. We've got a pain garden, or comforting. So think about humans, when you're poorly, you want something to make you feel better, something that gives you a bit of comfort. So in our pain garden, we've got valerian, comfrey, yarrow, St. John's wort, lemongrass, and ginger. So they're all great to help with pain. They also obviously have dual purpose. So St. John's wort can actually be quite uplifting as well. So I think you'll find that in your uplifting garden.
Yeah.
And then the comforting is angelica, violet leaf, calendula, jasmine, lemongrass again, and rosebud. So they're all really nurturing, you know, very, like rose is a very it's a very yin remedy, you know, it's very feminine, and it's kind of comforts the heart, you know. So
and I think ginger actually helps with nausea too, doesn't it?
yes.
So, and I know Aspen's been dealing with on and off of like not wanting to eat, feeling nauseous.
Definitely ginger. Yeah.
So the ginger would be, yeah. So, okay. So that's the one that you would recommend for that. And then for like cats that are not getting along, do you recommend doing this? Or even like if you're introducing two cats, do you recommend using certain herbs for that?
Yeah, so we've got a change in the home garden. So whether that's like you're bringing a new cat home or whether you're introducing a new one, again, we've got a mixture here. So the change in the home's got angelica, linden, which helps to build trust, lavender, yarrow, rose, and lemon balm. So very grounding remedies, very grounding herbs. And obviously when there's change, there's a lot of unsettledness. So that would be what I recommend for that. And in terms of introducing, we do have a trust garden. So that's more about helping the spirit of the cat to come through. Nicely timed.
I love this program.
It's brilliant. Yeah, so trust, we've got, again, linden, jasmine, lemongrass, angelica, calendula, and lemon balm. So for like calendula, for example, I love it because it reduces inflammation, but it also helps to boost self-confidence. I mean, you know, when you're dealing with a nervous cat, it's absolutely fabulous. So, I mean, I would like to think we've got a garden for most eventualities, but, you know, that's what we've got a selection box for, because if people are having a problem, you know, I recently just supported a friend. She brought her cat home from the vet. She had a case of returning aggression. The cat freaked out. One of the cats has also got a UTI. So I did a selection box for her, and it's got a mixture of pain remedies and nurturing remedies to, you know, try and give her kind of a two-pronged attack.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, so you're, you lay it out pretty easy as far as the pre-selected packages and as far as understanding what it is that you might want. I highly recommend the general garden. If you're like, I don't think my cat's going through anything, but I kind of want to see like what's, you know, what they would like. Our cats all just love them. And we haven't, like I said, we haven't left it out long enough. Now that we know that
spot and do this
I'm very excited about when we leave doing this on our rug upstairs and in our bedroom, because that's where they always hang out anyway. So that's going to be great. Thank you so much for this. I am very excited and grateful that you have offered everyone here watching 10% off of the herb gardens on your website. Website is linked in the description here if you just want to click on it. It's also at the bottom of the scroller here. But for the next 48 hours, she is offering 10% off. So, and they're not expensive in the first place. I love that. You keep it so affordable for cat parents. Using the discount code CATLADIES10. That's also here in the banner. But I want everybody to check this out and see. We're going to have Julianne back here when she's a little bit more healthy, and we're going to talk more questions. I know you got to be tired right now.
Can we all just take a moment and send some healing vibes to Julianne and your husband as you guys both recover from COVID? Quick healing to you. And I would love it if we can. I mean, this has been a very general introduction, I think, for a lot of us about the power that herbs can bring into our lives. I would love if we can do a follow-up where we are talking about some of these very specific issues that so many of us deal with on a regular basis and kind of break it down even better. So thank you.
I agree. Thank you. And I've just noticed the comments. Thank you, everybody that is saying get well and feel better. It really is that you don't know how warming it is to think that, you know, people are sending you love and hugs and wishes. So thank you, everyone. And I'm really grateful that you guys have joined us. I'm sorry for the intermittent coughing. I agree. I think it'd be lovely to do another session, and people can, you know, mention what's going on with their cats, and we can see if we can help, or if there's a garden I can recommend, or herbs and remedies to try.
Yeah.
And I want to point out your website is fantastic. This book, I think, is just such a fantastic book to have on hand. The fact that you really do address not just the healing aspect, but behavioral issues as well, that can be so helpful.
Yeah.
Excellent handbook.
I highly recommend getting this.
Down here on the ticker.
Yes.
naturallycats.co.uk.
Yes. I highly recommend, if you guys are like, okay, let's get, I know a lot of you guys just want to go crazy and you're like, oh, that's a great idea. And you buy it all. But then you might not like know what to do with what. This is the guide. This is the guidebook. So it's so this is going to be helpful for so many things, and you can, just reference it as needed, or you can sit down and read it over the weekend. But it is absolutely what I would recommend in addition to your herb garden, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the book. You can get a signed copy from my website. So when you're at the shop, the book is in I think it's educational resources. And like you said, we've got 40 different botanical profiles in there. All of the herbs that I sell are covered in the book as well. We talk about how you can use them for physical issues, for behavioral issues. There are charts and tables at the back as well. So yeah, it's a great combo to get a garden in the book, so that you know what it is that you can try and what you're using it for. And like you said, if you're not sure where to start, the general garden I've put together has a bit of everything. So it's got some calming remedies, it's got some soothing remedies. It's a great place to start.
And where I know that I don't want to like necessarily encourage everybody to reach out to you right now, because you need to go back to the couch or the bed. But if somebody does have questions or need to reach out, where's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, sure. So you're absolutely right. I've got a brilliant assistant, and she is fielding things for me at the moment, and I will get back to getting a response to everyone. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Naturally Cats. We've got a YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to us there. But the website, as you've put on here. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram, feel free to reach out. I offer a 30-minute free intro call if anybody wants to work with me for consultations. I do cat healing and things as well. So
that is so nice. That is so awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah, you are very generous to us cat parents. So thank you so much for joining us today. Go to sleep, get some rest.
Well, any final
take
thoughts
some herbs
from your COVID fog? Is there anything that we didn't cover today that you wanted to address, or that's front of mind right now?
Loads. There's absolutely loads. I feel like there's so much that I could talk about, and I feel I'm sorry that we're doing a short one today. But if you're not sure where to start, you've got problems with your cat, my biggest piece of advice is to be present. You might be, I know it's really hard when you're a worried cat mum or a worried cat dad, because things aren't quite right, they're not getting on, or they're not very well. But we've all got the power of intuition inside of us. We've all got the capacity to connect to our inner knowing and ourselves, and to get an idea as to what we can do to help them. So turn off your phones and your distractions, just pause for a minute, take a deep breath, and look at your cat and see if you get a bolt of inspiration, or a little tiny fizzle of inspiration, or something that gives you an idea as to how you can help them or how you can connect with them. Because, we've all got the capacity to connect with our cats. And, I really hope that you've enjoyed watching the interview and being part of it here today. And thank you everyone for joining us, for all your amazing comments. And Jay and Adrienne, thank you very much for having me. It has been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to go and have a hot bath and go to bed.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much.
We will look forward to doing this again soon. This is really definitely for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So our VIPs will be on Zoom together at 3 p.m. and then we'll be live back here on Facebook and not Instagram. What is it? YouTube. At 4:30 for our podcast. So Julianne, go to sleep. We love you so much.
Feel better. Happy healing.
Take care. Thanks, ladies. Bye. Bye, everyone.